That was A Morning Sunbeam, number 3 from 3 Sketches for Little Pianists by Florence B. This is the B2 piece of the ABRSM Piano Grade 1 exam pieces for 2023 to 2024. This is a smooth melodic piece in 3/4 time, going at a moderate pace in andantino, lighter and slightly faster than andante, which is moderately slow. The speed we're given here is dotted minimum equals 69. This means for each metronome beat at 69, we need to have finished a bar like this. If we were to translate this to crotchets to help us count better, this would end up with us having crotchets equals 207. If you have a look at the footnotes below, it says that we can slow this down even more to dotted minimum equals 63, which is equivalent to having crotchet at 189. There is an F sharp in the key signature, so if you see an F note, we were to play a semitone higher in the black key, the F sharp, but we only ever see this in our right hand. We have 3 sections in this piece. The first one in bar 1 to 16, the second one in bar 17 to 32, and the third section in bar 33 to 46. And after that we have an ending phrase. Now because the first and the third section is largely the same, we call this an ABA form. Let's firstly look at bar 1 to 4. We start off the piece in MF, so moderately loud. The left hand here is fairly simple, where in each bar we have 3 crotchets, playing the G major triad, the G, B, and D note in a slowing fashion. For the slow, we can do a little circular motion with our wrist. But we don't want to do too much, otherwise it will make it too strong, especially on our thumbs. We don't want to overstress the thumb, as we will throw off the main beat of the bar, so keep it nice and steady and simple. Our right hand is also fairly simple. We have a dotted minimum in each bar. Notes are slurred in pairs. There's nothing to note other than the slur itself. So putting together bar 1 to 4. In the second phrase, we have a new melody which moves from the right hand onto the left hand. We have 3 notes on the right hand, all slurred together, which is then immediately followed by a note on the left hand. We want to be smooth and seamless when we move from the right hand to the left hand. This is then repeated once, but with 2 small differences. We have a D note upbeat before the right hand of bar 7, which isn't slurred to the 3 notes. The D note minimum of our left hand is now a dotted minimum, so playing 3 beats instead of 2 beats. Bar 1 to 8 is then repeated, but now the ending is different in bar 14 to 16. Instead of playing the 3 note on the right hand, then 1 note on the left hand for a second time, we're just going to play a chord. The upbeat is now an A note and the chord is 5 beats long. Now that's because it is a dotted minimum, which is 3 beats tied to a minimum, which is 2 beats, so 3 plus 2 equals 5. So for bar 12 to 16, the rest at the end of the bar is important because we needed to move from the position we have here to the new position in bar 17. In the second section, we have a key signature change, dropping the F sharp, so just the white keys now. The melody has now moved onto the left hand, as well as we are now being quieter in MP mezzo piano, moderately soft. Let's first have a look at the first phrase in bar 17 to 20. The right hand is doing a repeated accompaniment, having a rest on the first beat, which is for the left hand, and then slurring the C and E note. It is suggested here to use a 2/4 fingering, which will help us with the chord later. The rhythm for the right hand is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's actually quite easy to count this, because if you include the left hand, then it just becomes counting in crotchets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Speaking of which, here is what the left hand is doing. Slurred dotted minims all the way, a note for each bar. Now this phrase is very simple, but we need to maintain the dynamics and make sure that it is with the left hand. Now even though the left hand does have melody, we don't want to overpower the right hand, or having the right hand overpowering the left hand. We want to make sure that it is even, slightly louder on the left than the right, but not overpowering each other. And then the melody in bar 21 to 24, with our left hand evolving slightly. The first 2 bars now have a minimum crotchet rhythm, so the rhythm is like this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Bar 23 and 24, the left hand has gone back to just being in dotted minim. Now just be careful that bar 21 to 23 is slurred on the left hand, but bar 24 isn't slurred with them. On the right hand for this phrase, we now have a 2-bar rest and then a B and D chord. So the accompaniment becomes this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And putting together the left and the right hand together for bar 21 to 24. Like in section 1, we are repeating the phrase with a different ending. Bar 25 to 28 is the same as bar 70 to 20, but the second phrase is different. The left hand is no longer slurred and the notes have changed in bar 29, as well as having another 5-beat note like we had in the first section, this time a C note. So bar 29 to 32 on the left hand. The right hand is still simple. Bar 29 to 30 is unchanged, bar 31 is just a bar rest, and bar 32 is a minim chord with the C and E note. We also have a poco rit, meaning poco ritardando, slowing down a little bit, as well as a hairpin with the opening on the right hand side, meaning we need to get louder. So bar 29 to 32, getting slower and louder. Again, the crotchet rest here is important because we need to get back into position. Then we have the A section again. Bar 33 to bar 46 is the same as bar 1 to 14. Now in bar 33 we do see a tempo. Now this means going back to our original speed after slowing down in bar 31 and 32. Unlike the first section in bar 15 and 16 where we just have a chord after bar 14, we have quite a few bars before we get to the chord at the end. Bar 47 to bar 50 is quite similar to bar 4 to 8 in the sense that we are going from right hand to the left hand. We do have an octave jump here for both hands. In bar 47, the right hand is doing the G major triad, and then a bar's rest, and then jumping an octave down for bar 49. Similar for the left hand, we have a D note on bar 48, and then a bar's rest, and then on bar 50, jumping down an octave. Now the bar's rest is quite convenient for us because we can use it while we're playing the left hand or the right hand. We can use it to find the note afterwards. So you can see me doing a crossover pattern here, when I'm playing bar 47, 48. When I'm playing 48, I'm already moving my right hand onto the next position. And this is quite simple because we can put our 5th finger on where the D note is on the left hand. Finding our G note with our thumb. And we were playing that. When we play the G note, we let go of our left hand on the D note and move to the octave down. When we're doing octave jumps, we really don't want to crash land like this. So to avoid that, really find your note first during the rest and just press. Also remember to use the time in the rest to do your transition, not transitioning after the rest, because that's going to be a long wait. Now on bar 50, we are using the thumb for the D note because it helps us with the 5th finger on the accented G note, which holds on for 5 beats. Now, you might find the pinky to be a bit weak, so you can use other fingers, like the 3rd finger or the 4th finger, as long as you get a strong beat, because it does have an accent, a little arrow underneath the note, so you need to play it stronger. Now, during all of that, the right hand is just having a 3-bar rest. Now, you will notice that there is a crotchet rest at the end of bar 52, which is for us to move the left hand from the G note down below to the chord on the top. So with the right hand, you have 2 options here. Once you finish the triad on bar 49, you can have it off the keyboard and then wait for the jump with the left hand to find the notes together. Now this will give you a bit more of an even accent on the forte chord. Or the other thing you can do is, while the left hand is playing, find the notes there. So 2 options for you. Either you move during the rest on your right hand, or you move with the left hand. And the last note here is in forte, the loudest we have been so far in the piece, as well as having an accent. So you can really put your body forwards a little bit to put that a bit of weight behind the note as well. Also note that this note is 6 beats long, not the 5 we have had before. So a demo of the ending phrase from bar 47. And that's the end of the piece. Well, that was the tutorial of A Morning Sunbeam by Florence B. Price. A very stable piece with long, smooth melodic lines. We need to keep the accompaniment stable and not rush the piece. We also need to balance the accompaniment and the melody's volume, so no matter which hand it is, we don't want to overpower the melody with the accompaniment. Another thing to look out for here are the rests, as there are quite a few of those in place. We don't want to come in too early or too late, as that will throw off the flow of the music. We should also use the rest as a good time for us to transition from position to position within sections. Hopefully that was useful to you. This is the second of the grade 1B pieces. Check out the other pieces that I've already done and the other playlists that I've not done in the playlist when they're up. I also have tutorials on the flute and videos of other hobbies, so check those out if you're interested. Give a like and subscribe if you like what I did here. Put a comment down below if you want to go over anything specific, or if you want to share your own tips and tricks with your fellow viewers. I'll see you in the next video on Master of None. Bye!